Okay, for these two examples, the goal is to find the inverse Laplace transform. And again, the idea is that we're trying to find the original function f of t that has this transform. So for the first one, our 2 divided by s to the fourth, you'll notice that this looks a lot like the power rule, except our number upstairs does not match n factorial. So the idea is that we want to go through and do the multiply by what's missing technique to create the transform of a function. And you'll notice that since it's s to the fourth, if we look at our power rule, that makes it appear that we should have n equals 3, since 3 plus 1 is 4. So we're going to look at multiplying the top and bottom of this by 3 factorial to capture that idea. So again, we already have the inverse in place. So this is the inverse of, again, we have a 2 up here and an s to the fourth down here. So we're going to multiply the top and bottom of this by a 3 factorial. And the idea is that we now can look at this 3 factorial over s to the fourth as the Laplace transform of our t to the third power. So when we take this inverse transform, we're still going to have our 2 over 3 factorial in front, and then when we take the inverse Laplace transform, we will have t cubed. And of course, 2 over 3 factorial is 2 over 6, which is going to be a 1/3 t to the third power. For our next inverse Laplace transform, 3 over s minus 4, this looks a lot like the exponential rule with our a number equal to 4. Once again, you will notice that that 3 is kind of just getting in the way since the transform has a 1 in the numerator. So we can just factor out by linearity that 3. And this is the inverse transform of 1 over s minus 4. And this is going to be equal to 3 times e then to the 4t. And it's really important to keep in mind that whenever you do an inverse Laplace transform problem, it is really easy to check the answer by just taking the Laplace transform and simplifying it down. For the first one, we would have a 1/3, then we'd have a 3 factorial times or divided by an s to the fourth. And again, that 3 factorial over the 3 would simplify to a 2 upstairs over an s to the fourth. And here, this is just 3 times 1 over s minus 4.